try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep, move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. Put me to the test, expect nothing less. You check the test, happening next. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from
Welcome to another episode of My Fellow Americans. I'm your host, Mike Jones. Please remember, hit that like button, share, subscribe, comment. Let's have some discussions. I love talking. That's what we're here to do, right? Anyway, let's just jump right into it today. Why waste any time with the niceties? So we had talked about Judge Hannah Duggan letting Mr. Ruiz out of her courtroom when ICE was there to facilitate an arrest. Mr. Ruiz is in court in pre-trial for assault of a gentleman that he struck over 30 times. A female was also elbowed, and another one is reportedly hit. So he's mid-pre-trial. Miss Hannah Duggan had found out that ICE agents were out in the hallway, in which case she had gone out and she yelled at them and told them to go see the Chief Justice or whatever, and came back into the courtroom. She adjourns the case, takes Mr. Ruiz and his representative and sneaks them out a side door so they can attempt to get away. I mean, Mr. Ruiz was caught fairly quickly. But the point is, we had a judge who thought it was okay to break the law that she is sworn to uphold. Doesn't matter what she feels, doesn't matter what she thought is right or wrong. The fact of the matter is, she broke the law. The judicial system, the law enforcement system, that's all there because all of us Americans have to follow the same laws, supposedly, unless you're a Democratic leader or someone in Congress or the Senate. Then apparently you're above the law. That's pretty much what Democrats like AOC and all them Hakeem Jeffries say. But no one's above the law. I mean, that's, in the words of Big Tish, no one's above the law. So anyway, that's where we were at. So now, obviously, Miss Duggan has to go in front of another judge for her case, So it's back. This story's back in the spotlight because of the judge that she randomly received for the case, which is U.S. District Judge Lynn Adelman, 85. He was randomly assigned to preside over a jury trial of Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Duggan. So here we go. It kind of makes you a little nervous, a little hesitant right from the start. He is a Clinton appointed judge with an anti-Trump history. He's made anti-Trump remarks towards Trump. So here we go. We got a judge who herself broke the law. And I forgot to add, not only did she sneak Mr. Ruiz out of his courtroom, the victims of his crime were sitting in the courtroom present that day. So you got American citizens sitting there watching a judge disrespect and not even think about American law. You're a judge and you break the law in front of people, in front of the victims, which makes it worse. But now it's being overpresided by this 85-year-old gentleman who has issues with Trump. It makes you worry because it's hard to have the confidence that our judicial system is going to be fair on this situation. It leaves a lot of questions, which is why it's back in the spotlight, is because of who is overseeing it. And I mean, Alderman spent 20 years as a Democrat in Wisconsin State Senate before President Bill Clinton nominated him in 1997 to serve the U.S. District Court of Eastern District of Wisconsin. It says, though the judge hasn't been active in politics for years, critics note recent rulings and writings in which he's taken aim at President Donald Trump, Chief Justice Roberts, and others. So, I mean, the guy might not be involved in politics, supposedly, but he still has been speaking out on Donald Trump, on Chief Justice Roberts, and other people. So, are we going to see a fair case? Are we going to see a fair trial? And this is the things that get dangerous right now in our country, is you have these cases that anybody with common sense or basic knowledge can understand that you can't break the law. If you break the law, there shall be justice, and that's the way it's supposed to be. But if this case goes into court and Hannah Duggan is relieved, acquitted of charges and found not guilty, I don't know. I worry that American citizens are not going to be able to trust our justice system. I think there's a big problem trusting our justice system as it is. The judicial system has attacked Donald Trump's agendas, has tried to slow him down at every corner, especially on things that are basic and stuff that can help our country. Like, he's starting off with illegal aliens who don't need to be here. We don't need criminals. We don't need criminals in our country hurting our citizens. We got our own criminals in our own country, but these are bad guys. Tren de Aragua, MS-13. They're terrorists. They're criminals. They're gangbangers. It's sick what the judicial system. There's a lot of lack of faith in the judicial system, and if she comes out of this unscathed or with just a slap on her wrist, it's going to be a slap to the American people's face. And honestly, I think the American people are tired of being slapped in their face. We've been slapped in the face a lot, especially with mainstream media not reporting on things the way they should be, not telling the truth. They're caught in lies all the time. They hid President Biden's mental cognitive decline. There's just the list goes on and on of how we can trust these people. And I think a good way to start is to have a legit case here. And I think she needs to be held responsible if that's what the jury so chooses. I believe she broke the law. She aided and abetted a criminal, obstructed justice in a courtroom, a judge. There's absolutely no excuse, especially in front of victims. Justice needs to be served. She needs to pay the price. Whatever that price is, there has to be a consequence. Otherwise, what are the American people seeing? American people are seeing that people are above the law, and illegal alien immigrants, especially the criminal ones, are more important than Americans, because these people are caught for various crimes multiple times and released right back on the street like they didn't do a damn thing. So we need to get the confidence back in our system, and it starts with simple cases like this that are polarized. There can be no bias. It has to be a fair trial. It has to be that you can't just overlook this case. It can't be overlooked. It can't be just thrown around like it's no big deal. It's definitely a big deal. So this is Hannah Dugan here on the right, and that's the gentleman Ruiz that she had helped escape. She's got to be held accountable, and that's honestly what I feel. There's just absolutely no confidence in our system at this point. I was reading something about President Biden. Now, that's another situation where the trust in the government is a little lack. Apparently, I read something that says Biden's last known cancer screening was in 2014. And listen, he's the president of the United States. They're supposed to get the best health coverage. They're supposed to be literally stood over top of these. They run our country. They control our nuclear warheads. They make decisions that can affect Americans on a daily basis. And the mainstream media is another one that people have lost faith in. And why have they lost faith? Because they lie. They've lied. Oh, President Biden, sharp as a tack. President Biden is, haven't seen him. And it's hard for me to keep up with President Biden. This is insane. His cancer diagnosis has come out, and there's, from what I've read and all the understandings that I've read is there's no way this man has cancer that's already in the bone, prostate cancer that's already gone to the bone, because from everything I've read and everything I've watched, it can take up to 10 years for it to progress that far. So if his last actual cancer screening was in 2014, it could be true. Why wasn't he tested, though? Which is crazy. It's hard to believe that a president was not tested for this. My personal opinion, I believe they knew about it. I believe they had some sort of plan in place. I believe they were like, okay, we'll get him through the first term. And if we can get him to win for a second term, whatever happens, we can put Kamala in there if it gets bad. And that's a sick thought that I believe they were thinking ahead like that. I mean, they've already come out. They were talking about wheelchairs, and people noticed this time, but the mainstream didn't open their mouth. Oh, it's not happening. You guys, and they would argue and they would attack. They would attack people like Fox News or anybody who disagreed with them, that said that there's something wrong with them. And they're just nasty. It's really nasty. I just don't really understand how this is okay. It's really not. There's obviously got to be an investigation. When was it first noticed? When was it known? Why wasn't he screened for this? And if they did know about the cancer, why was it not exposed? Oh, that's right. Because if it was exposed, he would have never been able to run for president, because chances are this goes back that far. So the guy's got cancer that it takes years to develop. So they knew all this. Somebody knew all this. Don't try to say they didn't, because that's insanity. This guy is a highest level public official, and you're telling me he wasn't screened for cancer? Wow. So either you got a really shitty doctor or somebody's lying to us, which I tend to lean on more of the lie, because the whole White House staff lied to the American people. The White House staff lied to the media. But the sad part is most Americans who watch the videos of Joe Biden falling upstairs, turning around, shaking invisible men's hands, looking around lost like he didn't know where he was going, the mumbling and fading out of speeches, asked a certain question and rambling on into something totally off topic. We all seen it. We all seen this happen. I don't know how many times I've gotten in conversations with people where they were talking about Joe's losing it. So for the mainstream media to sit there and lie and lie and lie and lie and lie to the very end, it's ridiculous. Oh, but now Jake Tapper's coming out with a book, and this person's now they're going to write books about the decline of Biden's cognitive abilities. So that tells me they knew they were going to use this to write a book, and plus they were probably being told not to say anything because it's the mainstream media, and they screwed everybody over and lied to everybody, and they want us to go on like nothing ever happened. Well, I'm sorry to say this is why your ratings are shit. It's why Fox News is kicking your guys' ass in every category, because Fox News is the closest thing you're going to get to the straight truth, believe it or not. So there's a lot of problems with people trusting, and that court case with Hannah Dugan, I'm really worried about just because of the judge situation. I could be totally wrong. Maybe he's fair, maybe he's biased, but I'm just saying right now, it's what we have to look for. It's what we have to look out for, America. We have to watch this stuff. We have to pay attention to what happens, because anything other than a fair trial where we already know that she did what she did, it's not a question. She should be guilty and she should be charged and she should have a sentence for something. Now, whether that includes jail time or not, that's not really what's important. What's important to me is somebody's held accountable. She deserves to have that on her record. She shouldn't be on a bench. She violated her oath. She can't even follow the law in the middle of when she's supposed to be presiding over a case. So, and then with the mainstream media, and then with Joe Biden, and the Joe Biden thing, there's so much we can go off into about that, because now that it's coming out, he was sick. Now there's multiple questions. Now it's who was using the auto pen, who was told, or who was actually using the machine to pardon people. Obviously, his cognitive ability isn't enough right now. Like, there was blank pardons for this and the distant future, from this to back in time. Like, they literally went by and had free reign. Whoever was in charge of this auto pen and the pardons had free reign and free power to use. Now, I'm not as upset with Joe Biden as I am as the people around him, because Joe Biden was losing his marbles. You could see it. Everybody could see it. You can't hold a man in that situation accountable, but you sure as fuck can hold everybody around him that knew about it, that helped, that pushed fake stories, that lied to everybody. Because you know what? That is the biggest crime. We had a man in office that had zero cognitive abilities, especially enough cognitive ability to run a country, to do foreign policy, to walk around with the nuclear football. A guy. So he's in the war room. We're having an issue. And Joe Biden says, bomb North Korea. Nuke them. Right? Only Joe Biden wasn't thinking North Korea. He was thinking a different country, Iran, whatever. It doesn't matter. But the guy wasn't in his right mind. But he's the commander-in-chief. You're supposed to listen to your commander-in-chief, right? This guy walked around with our nuclear launch codes and our nuclear football and his finger on the button. Now, if somebody needs to be held accountable for something, that is number one. I could deal with that part. That's very important reason. But other than that, is the pardons, all those pardons and any legislation, executive orders that Mr. Biden has signed should not be used. It shouldn't be even a thing. There's no way, shape, or form you can convince me otherwise. If he's not in the right mind to sign a paper, that's why people have to have power of attorneys when their parents get elder, or because They're not all there. You got to help them. And Joe Biden needed more than help. He needed a whole team to cover everything up. So we need to find out who this team is, and we need to be held accountable, just like Hannah Dugan, just like the Democrats that tried to storm the New Jersey ICE facility, and they're being held accountable. They are. So Ras Baraka, he was arrested that day, and now another Democratic lady is facing charges. And that's after Hakeem Jeffries said, "You better not lay a finger on those people," and AOC, "You better not touch those." Like, this is what the Democrats are doing. They're wild, they're out of control, and they're supporting people that break the law. This is a country of law. This is a country of freedom. That's what the big, most important part of our country is, being free. But the biggest reason we can be free is because we have laws, and we have these laws that everybody is supposed to be held up to. And without question, without bias, everybody's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But it's a scary time, because you're starting to see certain people are treated a certain way. You're seeing, so now we're finding out all our illegal aliens are being treated differently in the justice system, just released back out on the streets. But if it was one of us American citizens, we'd be sitting in jail. So you tell me how that's right. You're not going to convince me otherwise, but you can try. Leave a comment. That's fine. I will respond. So that's pretty much where we started today. In other news, Trump's big, beautiful bill passes the House, advancing the bill to the next phase. Some members of Congress are saying there's going to still need to be changes in order to get it to pass the next step. And I mean, that's with any bill. There's always going to be fumbling around, changes. So, I mean, that's a positive, because if this big, beautiful bill isn't passed, then December 31st, our tax rates, all Americans' tax rates, go up 65%. So get your stuff together, Congress. We need this. We need to get this done. Make whatever changes you need to, and let's get the American people their tax cut that they've been promised. That they have been promised. Let's see. Oh yeah, Supreme Court in an 8-1 decision. SCOTUS says Trump administration can strip more than 500,000 Venezuelan immigrants of temporary protected status, meaning deportations can ramp up, ending the program, allowing them to work and live here. So that was a Biden thing. It was like a parole program for illegals, like where Biden was flying them in, and supposedly they were on this work thing. But a lot of them characters that came into this country were criminals. So Biden basically opened our border, and then he flew these people in, let them come right in under this stupid parole thing. And But now the left are saying Trump administration's undermining humanitarian protections. They don't deserve our protection. They are illegal aliens in our country. The program that Biden used is gone. That's done. All the people are going to come off. Go home. Just go home. Don't make a big deal about it. That's where we're at. There's no reason to sit there and make a big stink about it. But now that they dropped that, it's going to be another pain in the ass for Trump, because you're going to get some weirdo. You're going to get some weirdo judge putting an injunction on the Trump administration again, and it's just going to be tied right up in court all over again, like it's the first time, like last time. Just constantly. So that situation A lot of bad people, MS-13, Tren de Aragua, all these killers, they came across using this parole program set up by Biden, made a mockery of our immigration system with this and Biden's open borders. So the numbers granted parole October 22nd through December 24th, 2020, December 2024. Cubans, 110,240 people came on that program. Haitians, 211,040. Nicaraguans, 93,070. And then Venezuelans, 117,330 for a grand total of 531,680 illegals were brought into our country through this. And that's just this. That's not even what the people that came across the borders just willy-nilly, which they were coming across thousands a day. And like I said, the real question is, will there be any injunctions? Once again, going against Americans' wishes, because that's what these injunctions are doing in the courts. They're literally against the American people. A majority, I think it was like a high number. It was like 87% of Americans want safer America, want these illegals out. And, it's crazy. But getting away from that, there was a positive note I seen. 38 Hondurans landed in Honduras, the first flight of self-deporters. There's 38 people, they self-deported, and each of them get $1,000 like Donald Trump set up in the program. And they left willingly. Now, see, what more can you ask for? He's given the illegals every opportunity to leave this country in a good way. Plus, hand them $1,000. Everybody, even if you're a child, you get $1,000. So if you're a family of 4, you're getting $4,000. Yeah, and to see that we finally got some takers and 38 on the first flight for self-deporters, I thought that was pretty interesting. So all you people that say Donald Trump's not fair, he doesn't care, he does care. And that's the whole point. He's got the program set up so you can self-deport. And the cool thing about self-deporting is you can self-deport, and then obviously pending your criminal background and all that, you can come back into the country legally. It's a win-win. Okay, so your family of 3, you leave, you got $3,000. Maybe as soon as you get back to where you're going, you get comfortable, and then you start filing paperwork and trying to get into the United States legally. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be done regardless. So there's also that. We're going to do good deed of the week. Good deed of the week. Trump signs Take It Down Act, combating non-consensual deep fakes and revenge porn. Big issues with children in schools, and in worst cases leading to kids self-harming from this and harassment. It's nice to see stuff's being taken to help anybody who is victim of deep fake, revenge porn, X that has some naughty pictures of you, posting it and showing all your classmates. And I mean, this is horrible. Children have harmed themselves. They've taken their own lives because, I mean, think about it. It's got to make you feel a certain way. And then the ones that are deep fakes and they're just totally fake pictures, but with your face on it and it looks so real, it's hard to get people to believe, especially young kids. And that's what's happening to these young kids. They're being taken advantage of, and it's leading them down a bad path and into a bad light. So it's good to see Donald Trump and his wife there. They both signed it. So, I mean, that was kind of a big deal, and, congratulations. That's the good deed of the week. I mean, President Donald Trump and his Melania, they're out here doing good things, but all people seem to care about is the nasty things, the nasty things. So, there are good things happening. There's a lot of good things happening. Unlike we talked about in the last episode, the Middle East trip for Donald Trump, good things happening. Hopefully Iran comes to the table. I'm a little worried about that situation. But I did see this today. It said, breaking, Democrats are now demanding that President Trump and his Department of Justice shut down all investigations, including the probe into the auto pen pardons against Joe Biden, his family, and his administration after it was revealed that Biden has cancer. All right. Listen. I feel for Joe Biden and I feel for his cancer diagnosis. I feel for his family. Nobody should have to go through something like this. But that's not the point. The point is you don't stop an investigation just because somebody's sick. We need to know what happened. We need to know what happened, when it happened, who was involved, because this was our country. I respect that Joe Biden is sick. I respect that. Has nothing to do with Joe Biden. Like I said, if anything, I blame the people around Joe Biden more than Joe Biden himself. But I had a feeling the Democrats would come out and say some crazy stuff like that. I actually said to my mom the other day, I had said that, oh, now the Democrats are going to try to say, oh, he has cancer, we can't go after him. And here we are. I woke up this morning and seen it, and it's insane. So you're telling me you catch a serial killer 30 years in the making. For 30 years he's tormented, killed, did whatever. But you're telling me you finally catch him and you bring him into the courtroom and you say, "Oh, you got cancer. We're just going to let you go. You might have killed 13, 14 people, but we're just going to no." See, that's what I'm trying to say is the Democrats, it's so stupid. There's no common sense. And that's the big thing of the Trump administration. The big thing he pushed was common sense. And that's common sense to me, people. Just because somebody's sick doesn't mean you don't look into it. We're not here to, I don't think they're here to hurt Biden. They're obviously not going to lock him up. But you know what? People around him need to be held accountable for what they allowed to happen. Because you know what? There are systems in place that are supposed to work for the American people, to when a president is unable to fulfill his duties, that we can keep the country running efficiently and he can be replaced, obviously, by the vice president. Now, hey, I didn't want Kamala to go in there, but they obviously didn't do it in the the correct manner. They took the wrong steps, and that has to be looked into. It was a failure of our system. And we were lied to, misinformed, redirected. And no, Democrats, I'm sorry, Joe Biden has cancer. But that doesn't let anyone off the hook. Not even close. Seeing that, on a side note, for Gaza and Israel, the Trump administration allegedly warned Israel that U.S. support may be pulled if Netanyahu doesn't move to resolve the conflict in Gaza. Which, listen, it makes sense to me. We're not going to sit here and keep supporting if you're not trying to end the fighting. And come on, it's time to end that stuff. It's time to get Gaza, start to rebuild back up, get some families, these people don't deserve to be dying at the rate that they're dying. It's just silly. It needs to end. So I can understand that the Trump administration doesn't want to support this if it keeps going. There needs to be progress. And that's the same thing with the Putin and Zelensky deal for Russia. It has to come to an end. It has to stop. Iran, we got some stuff on Iran. The Trump administration calls to an end of Iran's uranium enrichment, while Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian is committed to dialogue, but also says they are not looking for war, but are not afraid of threats. He states nuclear enrichment will continue with or without the deal. So that right there, if he says that it's going to continue with or without the deal, that's bad news. That means you're going to be sanctioned or you're going to be blown the fuck up. End of story. President Trump was very, very serious, and he was very straightforward with that. He said it will be bad. So already that's a little bit of a disadvantage. I mean, the good news is we're still at the table. Says there have been 4 rounds of negotiation, or Iran is very close to full enrichment. So they're very close. They could possibly do this in a couple weeks. I heard from a couple people, which President Trump said if they don't fully denuke, he's going to let it be known. It's not going to end good for them, you know? So what's going to happen there? I'm kind of curious. Are they going to come to some agreement? You know, is Iran just blowing smoke up our butts? Like, you know, can we get them to fully denuclearize? Are we going to have to place sanctions and then eventually start bombing the hell out of them? Who knows? But the fact is they don't deserve to have a nuclear weapon. I mean, Iran sponsors so many terrorist organizations. It's ridiculous. And the last thing we need is a country that can create nuclear weapons that also supports terrorists. Last thing we need is terrorists getting bombs in their hand, sneaking them into countries and doing all God knows what with them. We don't need that. But Trump said zero enrichment. So I'm you know, hopefully they can come to a deal. Nobody has to get hurt, and we can slow down these terrorist organizations. But on the other hand, I mean, I got to support taking them out and doing what we have to do in order to protect ourselves. We don't need that kind of issue in our country. We don't need to worry about Iran and working with terrorists. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's about being safe. It's about being safe. Let's see. I had another story to talk about. I had another story to tell you. Let me find it here. Let me find it. Oh, yeah. We have a manhunt. That's right. The jailbreak out in Louisiana. We had a jailbreak. Like, these dudes crazy. They overpowered this door, ripped the door off. They got toilet unscrewed, went through the back of the wall, cut through pipes. Then they get out. 10 of them, just straight up 10 of them. They're out, man. Got sheets to cover the barbed wire on the fence, and they're gone. They caught 3 of them fairly quickly, and I seen a report last night that they caught a 4th. So we still got 6 at large. I mean, this is crazy. Like, this is like a mob breakout. They're just like, see ya. It says that staff didn't realize they were gone until a head count that morning, which I was reading a report today that a janitor had helped them, because even the sheriff's office said that they thought there was an inside job. So yeah, they had help from a janitor in the facility, but man, this is crazy. 10 at a time. They definitely took advantage of a faulty locking system. The jail employee said he stepped away to get food. She said that the sheriff's office is taking much of the criticism. The sheriff office had came out and blamed infrastructure and staffing problems. They said they have only 60% of their staffing needs. They need 150 more officers, and they need $5.2 million for new locks. So, I mean, I get that, but this is unacceptable. You're in a jail. You're supposed to be keeping an eye on these people, and you damn well should have known 10 people were gone before the morning. I mean, they escaped around 1-something a.m., and you telling me you didn't know they were gone for however many hours that was. So they had all that head start. That's crazy. We do have a short video. I'll show you. We'll see, just to explain it a little better for you.
Is still underway in the South after several inmates escaped from a Louisiana jail. The jailbreak shows the inmates running out of the jail and jumping down the ledge. You see it right there.
We have a situation on the 13th green.
We're on it. Set that manhunt for 4 days. Now, the Louisiana governor says there is no excuse for the failure at the jail that allowed violent criminals on the streets. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
A high-stakes manhunt underway for 7 inmates considered armed and dangerous, caught on this surveillance video breaking out of a New Orleans jail.
These are violent criminals, and they escaped.
Authorities say a total of 10 inmates busted out of the Orleans Parish facility in the early hours of Friday, taking advantage of defective locks on multiple jail cells. Stunning photos showing the getaway path, a hole behind.
You see that? They even clowned on them. They said too easy, LOL, and drew an arrow towards the hole that they broke out through. Like, what the? They not only did they break out, but they mocked him. It's sick.
The toilet with this taunting message, "Too easy, LOL."
The failure in the jail system should never have happened.
The inmates were on the run for at least 7 hours before jail employees realized they were gone, officials taking even longer to notify the public. One of the escaped inmates captured right here in the French Quarter, the busiest and most important tourist hub here in New Orleans. It's only about 2 miles from that jail. Only 3 of the 10 fugitives have been recaptured. An internal investigation underway at the jail after the sheriff said her own employees may have helped in the stunning jailbreak.
We think this was intentional. There is much more than meets the eye.
So, I mean, there you have it. It's 4 now. They did catch another one since that video. Man, that was, I don't even know. It just it's crazy that this is going on. We definitely need some upgrades for some of our facilities. That's for sure. Let's see. Man, there we go. I wanted to see that. You see that? I can't believe that. Too easy, LOL. They literally had to take the bolts out of the toilet, and then there was bars going crisscross in there, so they had to have something to cut the bars. They ripped a door off, piled through the hole, ended up out the front, put sheets over the barbed wire, and escaped. Man, I'm telling you. I'm lost for words with that one. It's kind of crazy. Not what I was expecting. So, that's what I got for you today. We're going to have another episode coming out soon. Please remember to hit that like button. It definitely helps. Oh, yeah, that's right. Before I go, the Golden Dome is going to become reality. We had President Trump with Pete Hegseth and his defense secretaries doing an interview today. The Golden Dome is going to be a go. We're going to be protected like we should be protected as the greatest country in the world. The Golden Trump Dome going to protect us from missiles and nuclear warheads that have multiple warheads and one rocket. It's going to protect us and help us with submarines sneaking into our area. It's good news for the defense of the United States. It's good news for American people. I thought that was a good bit of information to end the stream with, knowing that yet again, you could put this down. This could be another good deed for Donald Trump. The Golden Dome, protecting his people, protecting our people, protecting the citizens of America, this great country, America. He just keeps giving, people. He just keeps giving. And these Democrats, they do not like him. They don't give him a fair shake. They don't try to work with him. And this is the problem. But anyway, I think we're going to break all through that. We're going to break all that down. We're cleaning. We're finally draining the swamp. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I also seen a thing with Bongino and Kash Patel. They will be releasing some documents on Hillary Clinton. Woo! Hillary Clinton, are you going down? You going down? You need to go down. You and your perverted blue dress. Get the hell out of there. In that swamp. What you see from here. So you got hopefully that's pretty legit. So 2 good notes to end on. Golden Dome, protect our people, and Hillary Clinton possibly getting charged with something. Could it? That'd be like an early Christmas present. That'd be. Hillary needs to go down. Bill needs to go down. Anybody involved in the Epstein situation needs to go down, which I hear they're gonna be dropping some stuff for that soon too. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of things happening. Thanks to 47. I did see another thing with James Comey. He was interviewed on, what was it, MSNBC, his favorite mainstream media company. And he tried to play it off. It did not meant to be like that. It was supposed to be. Come on, guy. The people are over it. You lied. You always lie. You lied about Trump. You tried to take down Trump. You knew things were lies that you used to take Trump down, that you tried to. You're trash. You are trash. You are crooked. Your FBI is crooked. Dan and Cash are about to clean this stuff up. I hope you were held accountable, James Comey, because you know you did this just to sell your book. You know it. Trying to get ahead, trying to make a little more money because the sad part is you're irrelevant. Ever since Russiagate and the Trump administration, you're irrelevant. Nobody trusts you. You're supposed to be a law enforcement and you're trash. Now you want to threaten our president. Yeah, you should pay. You should definitely pay with the justice system. You should be locked up and fined. And I hope that book doesn't sell a goddamn page. I might buy one just to burn it. But that's enough of ranting. I'm sorry. Please remember, smash that like button, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know how you thought the show was. Got any questions? You got any comments you want to make? I will definitely look at them and check them out and get back to you. But until next time, stay safe. God bless you. God bless America.